Austin, the cat ears on your headphones that the Amazing Seven gifted the podcast, they make you look like you're about to start your own little like web series of, I don't know, reviewing products that you get from specific Instagram users.
Welcome to Sashi Chan channel.
I was going to say he looked like an ooh-wee boy.
Yeah, ooh-wee boy.
Well, I mean, wouldn't that be the voice I'd have to... that's got to be for the cat ears, especially since they do light up, but I accidentally left them on one day and I ran the batteries dead, so I got to recharge them. But welcome to my review channel. My name is Martin. You call me Shaz.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is this okay?
No.
I don't think this is okay.
In the spirit of watching Star Wars, it is to Lucas, so here we go. It's episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
So if it's George Lucas directing you to do it, it's not racist.
Yes.
My dad has the same beard.
Can you ring that just so we can make sure in the future, if we ever accidentally say something stupid, we can just go, George Lucas made me.
Yeah.
I mean, Watto.
I'd be the cutest.
That was forced upon me. I didn't choose it.
Watto was not the worst part of that.
Hey, everybody, I'm Dana Holland.
I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer.
I'm Marcus. I am Electric Man.
And I'm Austin Tiny Zent.
And we are Nerd It Through the Grapevine, the podcast where four best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. And we're back in the grape sack, baby. We were live last week from the Food Truck Festival, which was a blast.
Oh, I had
It was
great.
a whole lot.
It definitely was a blast.
Yeah.
Don't say the word blast in the presence of this guy. My dad has a specific statement that he uses for what Tiny did to people like us, and he says, in quote, "He shit all over me."
Well, when I was editing the show and it got to that part, I'd forgotten about it, and then I see this like weird spike in audio from like being silent for a while, and I was wondering what that was because it was in the middle of somebody talking, and it was just a rumble, like this rumble, almost like something was breaking in the background with echoes or something, and then Tiny was like, "Oh, that's weird. The table just creaked." And it, in fact, was the fart. I saw the fart coming before it was even there.
It's like Kesha wrote a song about Tiny, and it was like, Tiny's farts echo through timber.
I didn't know where you're going with that.
Yeah. I mean, all the way through the wood of the table, the thing reverberated into the microphone stand. I had to sit and science it in my brain as to how this was taking place because the microphone was nowhere near his butt, but it reverberated the table so bad. It just, that's what you heard. You didn't hear the actual fart. You heard the aftershock.
Yes.
See, the picnic table was the acoustic guitar to my butt strings.
Trumpet.
And real quick before we get into this, we did have a viewer respond to, or I say viewer, we viewed, they listened, that was Jabba the Hutt and his sister.
That was Jabba.
That was Jabba and his sister.
Okay, from the last time I did this. Oh, wait, I should probably tell you, this is Seen It Through the Grapevine, where we covered the Star Wars Episode 1 a couple weeks ago. We're now going to cover Attack of the Clones, Episode 2, in the same fashion that we did last time, because it's a lot of fun to revisit these movies and it be okay for everybody to be talking while it's going on and just doing it scene by scene instead of actually watching the whole thing play through. Because Marcus was very confused. He was like, so this is going to be a longer episode that we're going to record, right? And we're like, no. It'll be the same as always. He's like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
It's over a 2-hour-long movie. How?
I just skipped the Phantom Menace, so
Time might work different where you're from, Marty.
See, what we did was we poured the essence of the movie into a saucepan, put it on the stove, and let it simmer until it condensed down into this slurry of a movie that is roughly an hour long.
And I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to gulp it down. And with this movie, we see that Hayden Christensen is now playing the role of Anakin as opposed to the small boy that was in the last one. And
Small boy got the shaft.
I'm sorry? Could you rephrase that in a way that will not get us contacted by the police?
Oh, I mean, the little boy did not get the part, and I don't know why, because the age progression would have been about the same in the production time of the movie, but maybe he just would not have been a good enough actor to portray that age gap.
Well,
he wasn't a good enough actor to portray the age that he was.
I don't know if Hayden.
Oh, here he goes already.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe it wasn't all him because the acting is definitely not the greatest.
No, it's not.
There was zero chemistry with him and what's his name?
Natalie Portman.
No, Obi.
Oh,
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
There was zero on-screen chemistry.
And, there's a lot of people that would disagree with that, but I just don't think it's possible for anybody to have on-screen chemistry with Hayden Christensen.
I mean, probably.
He's just very dry.
I don't know.
I mean, every movie I've seen him in, he's so dry. And the movie Jumper, where he had the teleportation powers, he was still. It was like you were watching the same. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've watched too many Dwayne
He's
Johnson
not the
movies.
best actor of all time.
No.
That's for sure.
not the worst, but not the
yeah,
best.
I mean, I don't know. It's just like you said, it doesn't age very well. I mean, when we were kids, it was fine because it was Darth Vader. But
and he had some like semblance of a chance of redemption with the Obi-Wan TV show. But the show wasn't good at all. So it was like Hayden's been put in these situations to where be good in this role, but with a terrible script and just a bad.
In Obi-Wan, he didn't even have to say any words. He just had to walk around and gesture his hands.
Yeah, the few times he did speak as Vader was really good. Through the broken helmet and stuff like that.
I appreciated
was the
that.
moment. Yes,
and there's some fan edits that I've heard are really good of that because they take it down and put it into like a movie. You know what I mean?
I need to watch that.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. I want to see one of those.
You see, what I read was James Earl Jones actually the voice of Darth Vader again, or did he give them permission to use his voice?
Yes, to both.
Okay, so
that was him, but he said in perpetuity they can use his voice to recreate Vader even after his death.
So from here on, all they're going to have to do is literally record Hayden Christensen doing his best, like, I don't know, is it called timbre or whatever it is to the voice, like what Darth Vader would have, like as James Earl Jones speaks? Yeah, rhythm. And he would be able to follow that and use that AI technology that's already good enough for us po folk, much less people that have industrial light and magic in their pocket, Oh, God, look at this good scene. Do you recognize that guy from The Nose Down?
Oh, geez.
He looks familiar.
Is that Sidious? So at the beginning of this movie, as always, it starts off in space, and then you get a little action and showing that Padme's fine being in the middle of a bunch of chaos going on.
She is fine in the middle of some chaos.
And
Go ahead.
It is, baby. Got anything to say about Yoda?
I mean, he's pretty hot, too. Go ahead.
You're absolutely right. I'm into the green.
It looks like a green ball sack, and I'm into that, I guess.
We're right at the time where he finishes. You see the wrinkle. Oh, go back one more. Let me see that face. Hold on, let me get.
Do the pictures.
Let me get it for you real quick here, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure you tune into the Discord so you can see these pictures.
You have to find good pictures of this movie.
Oh my God, it's even focusing in on his face. What a wonderful.
But anytime you see Palpatine speaking with the Jedi, it's this kind of, because we know what's going on, right? I mean, we know what he's about. They don't. So it's always something that you kind of start listening in for things that he's saying behind what he's actually saying to them.
Like a double entendre.
Yeah, it's neat to know what's really going on. Like, we know more than a Jedi knows, and that's pretty fun just as a viewer.
And also just something that I'd noticed about that picture that I'd captured, he looked a lot like Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah. A little bit.
So if anybody wants to take that picture that I post and put a hat and maybe a wand somewhere.
Pretty early on in the movie, Jar Jar does show his face right there in front of everybody. So anyone that didn't like him in episode 1, they're like, we're going to give you the finger. Not only is he in the movie, but he's like a part of the government. and they've really stepped up his role.
And he actually gives like this strange little like look right directly at the camera in one of these scenes early on.
It's weird.
It is weird. It's like, hey, I'm still here, everybody. What are you going to do?
Oh my gosh, look at Obi-Wan over there.
Yeah, when we first see Hayden as the grown-up Anakin, Obi-Wan is also looking a lot older than he did the first time that we saw him in episode 1.
Even though they're standing in the same confined space, there might as well be 10 miles between the two. That's the feeling that I get from both of these men.
There's a green screen in between them.
Yeah, they're recording
there's
from
way more than that.
2 different locations.
Yeah.
But they've got this more of a brotherly connection that you get
In theory.
pretty early on, just whenever they're speaking to one another, with Anakin being a little bit older. Because as a young kid, it's just the old guy kind of in charge of the kid. But here they're both adults, and their relationship is a lot more like a brotherhood. And if you watch Clone Wars, the animated series, you get so much more of that, and honestly, a lot better fashion than you do in this movie. You don't see a lightsaber for quite a while in this one. In episode 1, it's pretty early on. They break out the lightsabers and cut a hole in the wall.
They waited a whole 5 minutes.
Yeah. In this one, they're just like, we're going to give you what you really want. All the little conversations that happen in the background of the goings-ons
of
lightsabers, in the government, and the idea of lightsabers.
There's a Mandalorian.
I'm a bounty hunter, and I'm going to hire another bounty hunter to do my bounty.
Pretty much.
I'm hunting a bounty hunter to do my hunting as a bounty hunter because I'm a bounty hunter and I can't do my own bounty hunting.
Jango does hire another bounty hunter to take care of the situation with Padme where they're trying to assassinate her. And something cool about the assassin that he does hire is that they're a shape-shifting being. And I don't think I've ever seen one of those before in Star Wars.
They're wargs.
They're wargs.
They're wargs.
Yeah. But as Anakin and Obi-Wan are outside of Padme's room, which is this kind of creepy thing with, I don't know, Anakin and Padme's thing is kind of creepy a lot, but I think that's just because the way that Hayden comes off.
Yeah.
It's very creepy.
He's like, hey, I'm not a little kid no more. Hey, what do you think about the recast? Huh? Is you distracted?
Hey,
You seem like it.
I've had a lot of practice with my lightsaber.
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Ewan, did you know I was talking about my
You want to
boner?
watch me swish it?
He raises his eyebrows up and down and he goes, vroom, vroom.
And she's just like, you're like young enough to be one of my students.
And yet, she's still into it. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the whole thing. But as she's trying to get some sleep and they're talking outside the room, the Force makes sure that he knows that something is going on. And you think that, is she a senator at this point? I don't even remember what she is.
She is. Yeah, she's
senator?
no longer queen.
Right.
Her time is done.
Yeah.
She cannot be elected again. She served her 2 terms and she's out. But now she's a senator.
Well, you'd think that the security around her windows would be a little bit different. But then again, I guess having 2 Jedi outside of your room is pretty good security. The worms that come after Padme in this, the weird kind of giant centipede worm things.
Yeah, they got feet.
They got a lot of feats. I don't much care for those or the idea of them, period. Because that's what's under your bed at night, whether you want to know it or not.
Oh, we missed lightsaber.
Can we have a ponytail tracker for this movie as well?
Oh, go back.
For Anakin's ponytail?
Yeah.
It's on the right side behind the ear. Right side behind the ear.
I think it's a lot more consistent than what we got from Obi-Wan in the one prior. But
Go back.
is that even?
Is that Tom Hanks?
So
That's Tom Hanks playing the stunt double for Obi-Wan.
there's a moment where Obi-Wan
Get a picture
finds
of that.
himself. Yeah, that's a better picture than before. There's a moment where Obi-Wan finds himself on this little floaty kind of droid thing in the air, and I'm pretty sure that's not him, right?
No, that's just some man that they found on the side of the road.
How many pull-ups can you do?
I think that may be a stunt double because that looks nothing like. It doesn't matter how much wind you're blowing in Ewan McGregor's face.
Well, Ewan
that's
McGregor
not
in this
him.
movie looks much like a Southern Jesus.
Yeah,
mean,
right.
A Southern United States Jesus.
Yeah, right.
Don't write a country song in my presence, Marcus.
This guy does not look much like Jesus.
That looks more like Kevin Spacey
It really does.
with a very CG looking beard.
Very. Oh, geez.
And now the bounty hunter who got hired by a bounty hunter
Tell me that
to
doesn't
do
look
his
like
bounty hunting has hired a bug robot to do their bounty hunting.
Tell me that doesn't look like Tom Hanks.
No, it looks more like Kevin Spacey.
So
Before we knew.
We'll put it to the
while
polls.
Anakin's taking care of the weird centipede, millipede, bug doodads that are going after Padme, Obi-Wan goes after the bounty hunter's bounty hunter. And they eventually catch up with one another, Anakin and Obi-Wan do. And Anakin gets to drive. And Obi-Wan is terrified the whole time that he's doing it.
Yeah, he's making all the dad noises.
All the dad noises. It's just chaos and driving. It's basically, we get the, what was it? The pod racing, but
Yeah.
instead we get driving through traffic in this one for quite a while.
I kind of see him driving around like the Fifth Element city right now.
Yes, it's
It's
very,
very
Fifth
Fifth
Element.
Element.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm loving the city. I'm loving the backdrop. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, the way Coruscant looks at night is really neat. In the first movie, well, not the first movie. That's going to throw me off all the time. In episode 1, it just looks like straight up Gotham from every time they show it. But in this one, it's got more life to it than it did in the first one. But the whole chase scene goes on for quite a while.
It's roughly 4 hours of chase scene.
Roughly, exactly.
Lightsaber!
We do get some lightsaber action the second time during.
That is lightsaber through the windshield action.
But they eventually catch up to the bounty hunter's bounty hunter.
And I do want to say, Tiny, you should know this. It's much more like a faceless man than a warg. Just for
Yeah,
to get our
you're
Song
right.
of Ice and Fire references
You're right.
straight here.
You're right.
Okay?
Well, now
I
it
just-
makes sense to me because, oh boy, was I thrown off earlier.
Now, I just want to know, through this whole high-speed chase through the streets of the Fifth Element city, how come there's not one single police car? Like, they're never pulled over. You never see flashing lights. They're just speeding around, whipping laser swords.
They're above the law.
They're watching robot sports.
They are. End up going to a bar.
Death sticks.
Try to get some more information. Yes, the death stick moment. And Obi-Wan
Taking a blue shot.
Obi-Wan changes this man's life by force. Literally by using the force.
Oh, is that
he makes
Andrew
him,
Garfield with
he makes
ears?
him rethink his entire life in that moment. He just kind of goes away.
He was also side-eyeing the bald chick. I think he was kind of into her.
Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, more than likely. But I believe in this moment that
Django kills the
Django
bounty hunter
kills
he hired.
Right, yeah, which is a terrible job by the boss. He's going to get a horrible Yelp review.
Yeah, like why didn't he
After
just get
that.
him right there?
I have no idea. Yeah, he's got both of the Jedi sitting right next to the person he just easily killed from a mile away.
Right.
But he didn't kill her with anything like a boom. He killed her with something he had gotten her with whenever he made the deal.
Mm-hmm. Tranquilizer dart.
Right. But maybe he just shot her because he was afraid that their spider sense would go off.
I can't remember.
if they shot at them. But it should have went off when they shot at her too, shouldn't it?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't we get to see Yaddle in this scene? Just kind of off in the back.
I believe
Yaddle.
which is the other person of Yoda's race of
They
alien.
were definitely clapping green cheeks.
Absolutely. Well, how do you think Grogu showed up? on the scene?
Exactly. Well, Grogu's a
No
clone,
other
but
way.
that's something.
Right. That's a whole different
No,
thing.
that's
But we didn't know yet
How do you know Grogu's a clone?
from different context clues throughout the seasons.
Okay.
Like he was literally taken from a cloning facility.
Right. That's what they want you to believe.
Yeah, but anyway,
I think he
can't
is
tell
Yoda.
me- I mean,
I think he is Yoda.
No.
He's
Yaddle-
baby Yoda.
Okay, but that's, okay, hold on. Yaddle was a puppet, correct?
Yaddle was in the first movie,
well,
not this
so
movie.
so was Yoda.
They're all puppets, my dude. They're all Jedi working for the man.
You bastard.
Conspiracies.
Mace just does not want Anakin to become a a Jedi Knight, by the way, a Master Jedi.
Ooh, ponytail tracker. It was now at the top of the back of his head, more towards the crown.
That's never consistent.
Oh, you're talking about the nub, not the
Yeah,
braid.
the nub, not the braid.
I'm
okay.
so sorry. I
Yeah.
was keeping track of the braid.
Oh, no.
Now
the
we're going to
nub.
have to go back through the whole thing again.
It was in a more southerly direction the first time.
Yoda got little legs, so he gets to fly around on his little fly doohickey.
We've never seen that before.
Nope.
We didn't
What?
until we watched this movie.
Oh, yeah, until we saw this. It's a lot of talking within Coruscant and everything that's going on with the assassination attempt, and Anakin's all scared about it.
And he's
Padme-
like telling her about Obi-Wan and how he holds him back.
Yeah.
He has no ponytail right now.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does. You can't really see through it very well. But it's barely
it's so
there.
southerly.
There's a
Southernly.
There's a lumpy on the back of his
Yeah,
head.
there's a little bit of a lumpy there.
How do they not notice the differences in ponytail?
They just kind of drive around for a while when you watch it. Now, we do get to an interesting scene to where Obi-Wan is out talking to his different contacts. And I forget the name of this guy, but he goes to the diner run by this really cool-looking alien with a gnarly mustache. And every time you look at the facial hair of a creature in Star Wars that isn't a human, it's awful. It's horrifying, and I don't like it one bit.
Except for this young man, it looks good on him. It's very like Mario-esque
It is.
because if I remember right, his voice is very Italian-esque.
I think it is stereotypical Italian deli owner kind of guy.
Yeah.
Stereotypes in
And
Star Wars?
Hey, Lucas said it.
You're right.
Yeah.
But it was cool getting to see Obi-Wan just talk to a buddy of his, trying to figure out things
He had
going on.
kind of a Bob's from Bob's Burger kind of face.
The libraries. First look at the library, maybe.
Yes, yeah, where the archives
I'm loving it.
of everything, especially throughout the Jedi history, gone on. Which, if somebody finds access to that place, it's not supposed to be in there. They can find some dirt.
Yeah, and to paraphrase the librarian, if it's not in the library, it doesn't exist. So if you can't find it, that's your fault because you made up some bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. They know everything that's happened. We get to see some younglings training with Yoda and Obi-Wan walking in and just seeing how they're doing.
The best and the brightest.
They're all so cute.
Especially the little pudgy guy.
Yeah.
I identify with the little pudgy guy.
I really hope that they become strong Jedi when they grow up.
I think
They will.
I think they will. I think they'll all grow old in the Jedi Order. Mm-hmm. They have to, right? It's kids. You wouldn't kill kids in Star Wars.
So far, no Reva. I'm looking. I want to see if this is
Not
consistent.
in this
She was
class.
in a different class. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was having like biology right now instead of PE.
Yeah, this is like class of 04. She was class of 07.
So now we're back to a desert planet that looks like Rome again.
Yeah.
We're getting more geisha-esque.
Well, this
with
is
the
back.
Queen.
This is
Rome
back
with-
in her homeworld, right?
Yeah, because there's the new queen,
Yes.
Naboo?
Naboo.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And then we're on Coruscant for all the politics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now we're out in space.
Oh,
He's going
yeah.
to find Django at this. Is this a cloning facility?
Yes.
Yeah.
This
The
is
Kaminoans.
yeah, on Camino. Yeah.
Camino,
This is the
yeah.
cloning facility on Camino where
It's the rainiest planet.
it's so rainy, always
it's just
raining.
always raining and storming, man.
And the facility's in the middle of a bunch of water. And this is where you find that Jango Fett's DNA is actually what is used to create all of the clones that have ever been made.
Yeah, I really like the look of the Kaminoans or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah, with their long, nasty
Yes.
necks
I really like
you just
that.
like them
Yeah.
long necks with big heads.
into it.
The Greys.
It
so
just kind
into
of
it.
has a familiar
look.
feel.
If you look into the eyes of the Kaminoans, like you see your past and future self.
They
all
are
at once.
pretty eyes. Look at them
Yeah,
things.
I'm into
That's,
it.
That's the only attractive thing about them is their eyes.
And Obi-Wan just kind of shows up and he's just like,
What's going on here?
I don't know what. He didn't have a plan really. And there's like, are you here to inspect stuff? And he's like, yeah, that's exactly why I'm here.
He's improv.
So yeah, well, he trusted the Force, which is just improving. So,
His little mohawk.
oh yeah,
I believe that one's a she. I believe
the one on the right in this moment, I think.
I thought it was the one on the left.
I have no idea.
They could be both she's for all I remember.
They could be.
Sure,
Yeah.
it's very hard to tell.
They may not even have she's there.
That's it.
Oh, here we go.
They
I don't like sand.
They till they say.
The best scene in the movie because we find out Anakin just really doesn't like sand. He don't like desert places because sand is coarse and it's gritty and it gets everywhere.
I will say.
But you, Padme, are the opposite of sand. You're soft, you're supple, you're delicate, and you only get to the one place that I want you to.
I do appreciate that there's like an actual physical set.
Yes.
You can tell. Or maybe. I mean, I
Yeah, well,
guess they could
people-
still fool me, but it
I
looks...
think the railing is the only thing
Right,
that's
right.
real.
The rail is like a physical rail.
No, hell, they filmed that down in Rock Island.
These places are where a lot of people that I've seen online, they'll post pictures of themselves when they're on, travels and stuff, and they'll be like, "I am where this shot was made for Star
Okay,
Wars."
okay.
And a lot of people take pictures of where they're at.
And
there
then
on Naboo.
contrasting to this shot, which was in front of a green screen in a studio.
The entirety of it.
Yes.
There's only one person on this entire set.
It's just Obi-Wan walking around talking to nothing.
There are two people, I think, right there.
Oh, there's some real people.
Yep.
Yep, real
So
people.
you get to see the young clones all doing their thing.
Would they be called younglings as well?
I don't know. I have no idea. No clue. But they've made it to where you can't really see all their faces perfectly, clearly, because they all should look exactly the same. But upon further inspection, whenever the scene is paused, I believe that's a lot of different children.
Yeah, and the one, especially if you count 1, 2, 3, 4 in the front row, that's a drastically lighter shade than the rest.
Yeah.
I just like how they had a little basketball court in the back of the classroom, for when they just decide to have a recreation break.
Man, even the moments of like all the clones putting on their armor and standing around, like, there's nothing real about any of it.
No.
It's all, well, we say now poor CGI, but at the time it blew everybody's
bad.
No, at
minds.
the time it was still poor CGI. You're just forgetting because
really
when this
am.
movie came out, it still looked very dated.
And
Niagara Falls.
Right. The juxtaposition between what Obi-Wan is doing, and he's doing some like detective work trying to figure out who tried to kill Padme. He's having to lie his way into it and coming face to face with Jango. Meanwhile, Anakin and Padme are on Naboo having a picnic.
Well, Anakin is also doing detective work. He's trying to figure out exactly what it takes to get all up in there. That's what he's doing.
Spoiler, he does.
Ponytail. It's more northerly, a little more to the right-hand side. It's also gotten shorter in length.
Oh, just romance. How do you put romance on the page? Make them roll into the lilies.
Yeah, how do you
Oh,
how
God,
do you
so
do
cheesy.
it? And well, it's obvious that George Lucas, growing up, did not have very many romances in his life because he's like, how does this go again? You go on a picnic, you roll around in a field. Okay, yeah,
I
we're
think
just gonna portray that.
I think
It's
he
beautiful.
researched.
It's beautiful.
Actually, if you go back one scene and then forward one scene, I'll show you something. Okay, y'all, just look at this as hard as you can, and then go to the next one.
Are you talking about his erection?
No, I'm talking about what do both scenes have in common.
There's a bird in them.
They're both totally green screens.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, see, I think George Lucas was reading a lot of romance novels around that time.
Yeah, that could be it.
Probably like Amish romance because that is a genre. And yeah, surprisingly enough. And I think he just took some cues from those books and he's like, that's how they're going to fall in love.
Makes a lot of sense. I bet he was a shadow writer for a lot of those books.
He probably was.
And we get to see a kid Boba Fett for the first time ever.
I love seeing the child versions of my favorite characters.
Just for no reason
Yeah,
whatsoever.
it's like Child Jango Fett also has the worst haircut. It's just the worst. Like, why?
Your name
I think
means
he's a cool looking kid.
your name is Fat
Well, just talking about his
Tapioca.
hair.
Hey, Fat Tapioca Fett.
What?
Boba.
That's Django. Well,
No,
the kid is
the-
Boba.
Fat
I mean,
tapioca.
okay,
yeah. Okay. I get it.
Fat Tapioca Fett.
Jesus Christ.
It's Jason Bourne.
Jesus transforming Christ. I hate it so much.
Jesus actually did transform in this movie.
Yeah, Obi-Wan coming face to face with Jango is pretty epic. And yet, he's not even the one that, spoiler alert, kills him later on. It's actually Mace Windu that does it. But he's on to him.
We have a dinner scene.
No. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's just a pear on a very shallow bowl.
It's not a real pear, though.
No, it's a fake pear.
But they couldn't come up with a better looking dish other than it's just a pear.
It's an ice cream bowl on top of a martini shaker. Like that's all they've done here. Like,
And then there's a striped like plum,
Yeah.
a pineapple,
That's smaller than
a
a
larger
pineapple.
pear,
a mango.
and then looks like an apple in the background.
Did you see the smile on the man's face?
He's so happy.
It is. It's very unsettling.
Well, he's using the Force to travel food across the table to Padme.
He is sending through his eyes, "I'm burning for you." That's what he's saying.
And that is what we call foreshadowing, where he does do that in the end.
The ponytail's a little more to the right,
It
where
is.
you can't really see it.
Slightly. But
He's really spitting game now.
he really is. He's confiding in Padme. What?
Oh, Marcus, the scene before it. Hold on, let me get it. Hold on. Hold on.
He's like, no, I can't do this first. Oh no!
Hold on.
It's them damn shoulders, man.
He's like, smack the 57 on the bottle. That's where it is. That's the spot.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
I got it. And actually, he's just looking like he just got through telling her I don't like sand and that.
No, he's getting his first handy J. That's what's happening right
Premature
now.
midichlorians.
Yes. And now she looks mad.
Yeah.
I can't believe you made my hand sticky.
I mean, it's the outfit, though, right? That's what made it happen.
I mean, look.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a.
She looks stunning. I'll say.
She does.
Yes. Like an angel.
Yes.
I don't know if an angel's wearing like black leather, then
Man, Obi-Wan just gets so wet on this planet. Look how wet he is.
he gets turned on by the weirdest shit.
I know. He's soaking wet. And he's talking to Yoda like, what do I do? And they're like, I don't know, man.
And Mace looks on in disgust.
Oh, and we get some Anakin nipple.
Extremely airbrushed nipple.
Another nocturnal.
Yeah, it was a nocturnal stress relief, stress reaction. Nocturnal stress reaction.
Boy, if you've never watched Star Wars 10 seconds at a time with the scenes paused, do it. You've been missing out so much. Now, Heaven, we get to see Heaven after him having a moment in his sleep.
Looks like she had a moment in her sleep too.
I believe so.
Look at that
Shame.
hair.
Yeah, a moment of shame. Oh boy,
This is where we
Django.
see Slave
Yeah,
One.
Django is now in his armor and staring him down, and that just looks good, and it also looks very cheap if you've been watching Mando here recently.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because Mando's got that Beskar shiny. That armor right there is probably not even Beskar.
Nope.
The fight between Obi-Wan and Django is pretty cool on this between a Mandalorian.
Well,
And
at
him in
this
the rain.
point in Django's storyline, he is no longer a Mandalorian.
No,
Nope. He just has the Mandalorian armor.
I see.
Obi-Wan.
Oh, and then Django and Boba make their way off planet. They escaped Obi-Wan this time. And then we get to go back to some sand and back to just...
Yeah, where are they here?
Oh, this is where he
Tatooine.
gets... Oh, this is the murder hobo scene.
Watto.
Is this Tatooine?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, this is it. Ooh, yeah, this
I
is...
thought we were done with the pod racism.
It's just...
We're never done.
pod racism will continue in Star Wars forever. But he does get to confront his old
His
captor.
beard looks even worse in this one.
They made his weird vascular neck beard even higher def in episode 2.
And longer.
So bad.
Oh, look at the side where it's so bald and like sacky.
It was very saggy.
It was so
It was the
sacky.
most scrote-looking chin throat I've ever seen.
Like, if it could be any more scrote, like one side would be lower than the other.
Oh boy! Yeah, Anakin is looking for his mother, so he went to what is his name? Watu? Is that what you said his name is?
Yeah.
Went
Watto?
to
I thought it was
Watto.
Watto.
Or
It
Watto.
might be Watto. I could have been
don't know,
wrong.
man.
Sour grapes.
Watto. But he goes to him to try to find out where his mother is, and well, there's not very good news. So later, we get to see Jango and Boba again, and Obi-Wan has caught up to them.
I like the forehead seatbelt.
Oh, yeah.
I do too.
I mean, you got to have your forehead safe.
Yes. They are. It does
as
look like
strapped in as
Comm
he can be.
system. Come on.
it does look like Django has a
Turtle
head
beaches.
a head seat belt, but he doesn't have one for his son. His son's head is in danger.
That's why his son is so pissed looking. He's like,
Now-
I want a head seatbelt too, Dad. I don't want whiplash.
Where's my head belt, Dad?
In this moment, while Obi-Wan is chasing them down through this little asteroid ring belt of a planet,
I do appreciate that.
You do get to see and hear one of the coolest explosions in Star Wars ever, because it makes that weird. It's that blue explosion that goes like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that one. And it's just such a cool sound. It's probably one of the coolest sounds in Star Wars. But flying in and doing the cool chase scene. A lot of chase scenes in this one. Whole bunch of chase scenes. Sometimes it's basically in a taxi on the Fifth Element, and then other times it's a spacey one.
Yeah, well, they shortened the length of the original title for the movie because it was Attack of the Clones, If You Can Catch Me.
Now, I don't remember this planet.
Underwaterville?
What?
Is that Underwaterville?
This is the ringed planet.
Yeah, I forgot.
What planet is this?
The one with the ring.
Maybe we'll go back to it because I don't really remember it that well either.
Hey, there's the eye melter ship again. Eye melter 69000.
There he is.
There is Aunt and Uncle.
Baru.
Yes. And Ian.
Owen.
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 Man, I don't know anything. So, Baru, and Owen, Auntie and Uncle,
That's how my dog barks.
that eventually Luke will grow up with on Tatooine. So this is where Anakin's finding out the truth of where his mother actually is. And it turns out that some Tusken Raiders,
She's rolling her eyes
Yeah, she
so
is.
hard.
some Tusken Raiders took her away.
She's like, what are you going to do?
And an epic little moment, if you've paused it, which I mean, it shows it for a little bit of a second. And actually, I think they also showed the same kind of thing in the episode 1 poster.
Yeah.
Where why would you do that right away?
Bowl cut.
But the shadow of Anakin on the little hut thing behind him, not a hut like the species,
igloo.
but yeah, the igloo hut.
The desert igloo.
The desert igloo. The shadow is that of kind of the shape of Vader's helmet that's coming off of Anakin, because it's foreshadowing foreshadowing. It's literally foreshadowing.
But I thought they were trying to say he was a dickhead.
That's
'Cause his
also
head
happening.
kinda looks phallic.
Both of those things are happening. But he's about to go make the biggest mistake of his career, and he'll pay dearly for it by this moving him closer to the dark side.
Yep, and he's searching all over for where they might be and going and talking to the Jawas, and they're like, ooh, diggy.
I really don't remember much about whenever Obi-Wan got onto the ring planet and finds... Oh, yeah, then Dooku's got...
Okay.
I
Yeah,
was about to say, I watched this today, and I don't remember this.
Oh, it's where we first get introduced to Dooku in the movies.
Look at that melty-headed
Oh,
guy.
yeah, they got some weird-looking people in here. But I really like Dooku's character a lot. A big fan. But then, what's his name? Sir Who is playing him in that?
Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee. Is he a Sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was.
Sorry.
R.I.P.
And then Anakin finally comes upon the village of the Sand People. Yeah. And it's not good. He finds Mom. She's all beat up. He just happens to find her right before she dies, which is great. I'm going to go with it was the Force that got him there in time. But she dies there in his arms. She was just happy to get to see him one more
Apparently
time.
from a wound on her cheek.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That cheek wound goes real deep there, buddy.
Yeah.
It penetrated all the way to her brain.
Yeah, she dramatically dies in his arms, and then he slaughters them all. And later we find that it wasn't just the men, but the women and the children too.
Yeah, they did a circle wipe.
He really likes killing kids. Boy, howdy, does he like killing children.
But he's the real hero of Star Wars.
Yeah,
Don't
everyone
forget.
knows it.
No, he is the child of prophecy. He
Ooh.
brings balance to the Force.
Yoda felt it.
Fight me on it.
Yoda felt it in the Force when Anakin accessed the dark side.
And Mace is just watching Master Yoda, just
that-
like so impressed at his connection to the Force.
That's also where Mace can be like, I told you guys that he can't become a master. Like, he'll never become a master.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't Obi-Wan get taken prisoner on this planet?
Forced to fight in the pits, and then they all have to go and fight in the pits with him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, they do. That is the pits, isn't it?
Yep, so is this scene. All right.
This is where he throws something, isn't he? Then he throws something.
He's throwing a fit. You know, I mean, yeah, you did just kill a bunch of men, women, and children, but don't be a big baby about it. Come on, man.
Yeah. You chose to do that.
Well, I think his mommy died, too.
Yeah,
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
that also happened.
God, he didn't work out all that
Blue milk!
Hold
Somebody
on.
left it sitting over there,
Whoa.
undrank.
It's going to
damn
go
it.
spolt.
Whoa.
It's going to go spolt.
Is that how it gets green?
I think so. Boy, howdy do I love me some C-3PO. But Obi-Wan gets to relay what's going on with Count Dooku and what they're planning.
This was if you want to go back one scene, one more. It was this specified outfit that got so much duct tape purchased by young women to make Halloween costumes.
Well, I mean, she's wearing a white latex jumpsuit, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's a cool design.
Oh, man, I was too early, Tiny.
Damn. Yeah.
Where was my mind? I'm sorry. I apologize.
I mean, I was thinking it,
Forgive
so
me.
you still wasn't
okay.
wrong.
Gotcha. All right.
I was just curbing to something else.
I love this guy that looks like Satan, too.
Yeah, he does.
He's got tentacle
But he's a good
horns.
guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, everybody's just not trusting everything that's going on after Obi-Wan tells
Hold
them
on.
what
That looks
he's
like a
found.
mid-journey background.
It really
Yeah.
does. Yeah, where Count Dooku is with all the Genoshans. Is that what they're called?
Genoshans, yeah.
Geonosh.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but anyway.
I mean, that's a good pull
Yeah.
because I had no idea.
They're bugs. They're the bug people, and they freak me out. And they've got wings. And in some episodes of the Clone Wars, maybe just one, there were zombie versions of them, which were pretty crazy. And that was kind of neat.
And Dooku's like epic voice.
Yes, because Obi-Wan knows who Dooku is.
He's a former master.
Yeah. What was his Jedi name? You guys remember?
You mean his
wow.
Sith name?
No, Dooku.
No. Dooku is his.
Dooku's his name.
It was Darth Tyrannus. That was his.
I think you're right.
His
Yeah.
Sith name. Okay.
Well, he has the coolest of the Sith names that you can say that, and then he goes by Dooku the entire time. Everybody just-
Doo-doo.
Yeah. He also has like the coolest Sith outfit of all of them.
and the dopest handled saber.
I know.
Yes, he really does. He's the best.
He's got a cape, man. He's got a freaking cape.
Yeah.
Not a cloak, but a cape.
But a
And a force lightning.
And his fighting style is more like fencing, which was something I really like too, because it's not just straight up power. He's more about
His fighting
finesse.
style is more old man.
It is very
finesse.
old man tries fencing, yes.
yeah.
But he's trying to explain to Obi-Wan, I'm not the bad guy here, man. Like I'm doing what I think is right.
But he's totally the bad guy.
He's totally the bad guy.
The Galactic Senate.
Yeah.
I've always liked how that looked.
I believe I could be wrong since I'm not actually watching it. Tiny, you watched it earlier. But is this where the Senate hands over more power to
Yes.
Palpatine and
Yeah.
being able to use the clones at
Yes.
his bidding?
After Jar Jar's impassioned speech.
Yeah.
Because realistically, in Star Wars, I'm going to equate this to historical terms.
Go for it.
Jar Jar just made Palpatine
Hitler. Yeah. Yeah, he
Yep.
gave them he Hitlerified him.
He did.
Absolutely. So that was a huge turning point for what's going to happen to the Republic, which will eventually become the Empire. And I think in that moment, it was more Empire than it had ever been before, because there's not much more power he could gain as far as being able to solely be able to control the entirety of the army.
They gave him the entire military force.
Yeah.
And basically ultimate control over the entire Senate. That's what the chancellorship was.
Yep.
So he can act as the Senate.
Yeah. So this
by
movie,
himself.
This movie had a lot of big turning points for character arcs. Really, a lot of it going towards the dark side as opposed to good things.
But not
Where are they here?
To find Obi-Wan, right?
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
they went to hell to find Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Obi-Wan hadn't come back yet. So now they got to do the classic. It's like a cartoon, man, with them going through this droid factory, and they're just falling down different conveyor belts and being sent through all these wacky different contraptions that are crushing and cutting. And
R2 can fly like 30 years before he can't.
Right.
Oh, your damn old equipment wears
Or
out
maybe
over
he
time.
could. He just never does.
Hey, this is the past. He got old and lost his ability to fly.
Okay, that system was broken, we'll say.
Yeah.
Poor 3PO losing his head. He ends up falling to pieces quite a bit. But he always turns out okay in the end, all thanks to his good buddy R2. But just, we almost see it. But, there for a minute, you're like, Padme's about to get... There for a minute, you're like, man, Padme's going to die here. We all thought it when we watched it, right? Whenever they're just pouring melted lava stuff down into the vat, you're like, she's definitely going to die. And then you see R2 put his robot member into a hole in the wall.
He's like, ooh, I can't pass this
There's
guy.
always just a convenient hole for him to just stick it
Yeah,
in.
it's just tall enough for him.
And just where it's located, George knew exactly what he was doing.
And it always
It fits
just
into
right.
everything. It opens up all kinds of doors for everyone else. Without R2 and his robot member, no one would survive.
Star Wars wouldn't have a plot.
No. So all our heroes did on this planet was get caught right away, because that happened to Obi-Wan, and then it happens to Anakin and Padme.
Do we see them get captured?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Django's a part of the situation.
Oh, okay, I get
when
it.
he
I get it.
captures him.
I get it.
Yeah. He holds him at gunpoint.
Remind me what Django's doing. Was he hired by the Emperor?
He was hired by...
I think by Dooku, which is working for the Emperor, which at that
Okay.
time he was his apprentice because
So
Maul
he's just basically
was gone.
bad guy.
Right.
There's no real motivation. What's his
Just
motivation?
generic bad guy. He got hired to do a job.
Yeah, Django.
Got it,
It's whoever's paying him most.
Yeah.
Like
Got
all the
it.
Jedi had to do is scrounge up some more money. And
I
just
love
give
the
it to him.
armor on the Genoshan here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the moment of them being in the middle of the pits where the beast is going to come after them. And they're just kind of hanging out together. A lot of fun.
Scary beast.
3 scary beasts.
Yeah, very scary beast. There is a scary beast that is unleashed upon them that has like blade spike things for legs.
One of them is a praying mantis. Another
Yeah.
one is a rhinoceros.
Is that a mudhorn?
And then the other one is a wolf
It is
and
not a-
cat mixed.
It is not a mudhorn, but it looks very...
Is it a mudhorn? Maybe. Well, no. I don't know if the mudhorn has the side tusks.
It is not a mudhorn.
No. Okay.
Mudhorn does have side tusks,
Yeah.
but they're more frontward side tusks.
Okay.
More on the mandible instead of the cheeks.
I do like that they gave you 3 different types of baddies here with the monsters. They're pretty neat. But the praying mantis one, that's the one that I think I would just die from fear just looking
Hold
at
on.
it.
FMK, those 3 beasts.
Mary kill.
Oh no! Well,
we're doing it.
We're doing it.
doing
Yeah,
it.
we got to back up.
Do we have to reach a consensus?
Oh my god.
No. Just quick round the room. FMK.
Kill the mantis because
yeah.
because if you fuck the mantis, it's going to kill you. So, and you definitely don't want to marry that kind of material. So you kill the mantis, you definitely have sex with the rhinoceros, and then you marry the cat.
No, you F the cat.
I think you have the cat. Yeah.
F the cat, M the rhino,
Yeah.
and K the mantis.
Mantis. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yep, definitely.
Are you with us on that?
Definitely K the mantis.
Yeah.
I would.
See, I'd feel safe with the rhino, you know?
I would say F the cat.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've kind of in a way been there and
Right.
definitely am the rhino.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm landing on this.
I feel safer with the rhino.
Yeah.
I think I could have a longer life with them and feel,
feel like we
safer.
can support each other in
Yeah.
our life
Yeah.
the best.
That's kind of how I feel about it. Austin, are you sticking with marrying the cat and effing the rhino?
Well, I was just thinking that the rhino being heavier, the joints would wear out a whole lot worse. So having a long marriage with that wouldn't be as as plausible. But I guess in the short span of things, I can agree with the rest of the group.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've come to a general consensus then.
No,
Excellent.
Doesn't he come in later on in the movie with all those spinny blades?
Oh, that's really funny. That's really funny. I like that joke. Wow. What a time to be alive. They're doing again, the cartoon kind of moments of being in a fighting pit with no way out and some monsters. And boy, can Padme kick hard.
She can.
She kicked a cat beast the size of a horse, and it had no chance against her.
While swinging on a rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a chain.
She also kicked a lot of her garments away.
Yeah.
Like 20% of her clothes gone with one fell kick.
Yeah. But the boys ended up with all their clothes still on. Well, how is that fair?
Because
she
they're
has
wearing
so much more power.
and they're wearing cloaks.
Yeah, they also have clothes
Not
to
anymore.
cover well.
I lied.
Yeah.
Now they've got an excellent moment of them riding off together. But they're not going to let them escape just from beating the beast. They're going to unleash some battle droids on them, and then the Jedi are going to show their faces because, ha-ha, Dooku, we were on to you the whole time.
Look, it's Ahsoka.
And, no, it's not Ahsoka.
It's the same kind of
Shakti.
alien as Ahsoka.
I believe her name is Shakti.
Look, they're the same species anyway.
Correct.
I was close.
Correct, but I believe her name is Shakti. I
They
could
all
be
look-
wrong.
They all look the same.
Been wrong about a lot.
Well, here we are with no more racism in Star Wars.
Yep, not even a bit. Oh, C-3PO is back in this scene. He did lose his head earlier, but he was in a droid factory, so he got a droid battle head put on him instead. So he came into battle there, and eventually he gets to get his own head back, which is nice. But it's fun to watch Jedi slaughter battle droids because they're not living beings. And you can kill as many of them as you want, and it still be a kid's movie because there's not gratuitous
Well, you're
violence.
not killing them. You're just reprogramming them.
Yeah, you're turning them off, but with a hard reset.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
you're taking out the toaster, not the toaster taking out somebody else or something that graphic.
Right. The toaster is taking a bath by itself.
Yeah, there we go.
The
There
toaster
we go.
bathes alone, just like the cheese stands alone.
Just like the song says.
Now, the scene where all the Jedi are kind of coming around Dooku and the gang is where you get to see that Mace Windu has his purple lightsaber.
Epic.
And it's just because he wanted one. It has nothing to do with any
And-
kind of lore or anything. He
and
wanted
it-
to stand out.
Well, it
It
is
is
now.
thick
Yeah.
and it is veiny.
It
Look at that
is.
thing.
Jeez. Like, compare that to Obi-Wan's thin little tool he's got going on
Well,
there.
it's because it's mid-swang, guys.
Yeah,
we caught it
is.
mid-swang.
I mean, maybe.
Is.
It looks like the dark saber kind of in that.
Oh, boy. Django never stood a chance against Mace. He cut his head clean off.
What makes you think that was going to work there, young?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Obi-Wan, I don't think he wanted to kill him there on the water planet.
That's a Del Gribble look on Hayden Christensen's face.
Because he's got
King of the
pocket
Hill.
sand?
Yeah, he's like, "Hi, I didn't know you could shoot. Where'd you get the rifle from?"
Did you know I'm the president of the Rifle Club here in Arlington? Or what is it, Arlen?
Arlen, yeah.
Arlen.
And R2 puts C-3PO back together.
Yeah. Well, eventually we find that there are way too many battle droids for the amount of Jedi that we have, and they're all surrounded. But then the clones show up as the Emperor's own
New
army.
group?
Yeah.
Looks like
it's
a
his
little
own army.
precursor to the Death or the Star Destroyer up there.
Oh,
too.
up top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it really does. But Yoda is a general of this army now at this point. And I think he's the first one appointed to it because no one else has any of the clone soldiers but him. But they come down there, and all of a sudden, Palpatine is the hero of the situation because he set it all up to begin with. He wanted that to happen. He wanted the Jedi to find Dooku. He wanted them to get to a moment where they were going to be defeated, and his decision to use the clones is what saved all of the Jedi.
I wish he would have like pointed that out or something with a line talking about how he had designed the entirety of everything.
Wait a second.
Hold on.
I think he does that, doesn't he?
What?
Everything has happened according to my design.
And then Boba picks up his dad's severed head.
Yeah, I think the head's still in there, right?
That'd be great if there's a little
Probably.
shunk right now. just you wait. You held the jelly upside down for a while.
Yeah, like you open up a can of beans and then just one of those
Slowly blorps out.
Yeah. It's either that or he just kind of shook it out of there before he had to make this epic moment of him
Before
putting
he's
his
like,
head
I'm
on
gonna
it.
kicked
put
it out
my
of shot.
forehead against it. Yeah. So now I got to squat down and put my forehead against my dad's helmet.
But he swears vengeance against the Jedi and specifically Mace Windu, which you do get to explore in the Clone Wars animated series. It shows a young Boba Fett going after Mace whenever he can. But yay, they saved the day. They got away.
Oh my
But
God!
So did
back
Dooku.
up. Look at that, sir. Look at that fine-looking gentleman.
Oh my gosh.
It's a Ganosian
Oh my
general
God.
or
He has like a
something.
little centipede medallion on his vest.
Look at that beard.
I know that's what caught my eye was the beard.
I think those are feelers. I don't think that's a beard.
Like we cut that stuff off of our dogs.
Although
It's a
in this
dingleberry.
in this shot, he does look more practical effects than he does CGI to me.
He's got a dingleberry mustache and beard.
Oh, he
and
really
he's got
does,
golden
doesn't he?
rings around his wrists.
Oh, jeez, that's awful.
A torque.
Way to go, everybody! Now all the Jedi are generals, and now they've got their own clones, and then everybody starts the Clone War. It's the attack of the clones in this moment. That is
Except they attacked
Cody.
the wrong people.
This it shows Cody in this. That's the name of that specific clone.
Well, his helmet looks like it sucked on a lemon, and that's how it got the yellow stripe. It's all like pucker face.
Yep. Yeah, well, the yellow striped one there is Cody, and then there's a blue striped one. His name is Rex.
Thought it was
And
that was Grendel.
They're buddies.
Was Grendel the blue stripe?
Grendel, Hansel, and Grendel.
No. I thought one of the troopers' names was Grendel.
You're thinking of Beowulf, bruh.
No, I'm thinking of Star Wars.
Is there
bruh.
is there a Grendel? Is that real, or are you just making up the name?
I'll never tell.
You're just no.
Yeah,
you're
but
just
you'll
saying
never
I
tell.
know
Making
little
up the
things too.
name.
You're going. I know names of clones too. You don't know.
There could be one named Grendel.
There probably
You don't
is
know.
one named Grendel.
And he was cool. He did some cool clone shit.
It was Grendel and Grundle.
And Bendel and Bundle.
Yeah.
Grendel, Grundle, Bendel, Bundle. A Star Wars story.
They were quadruplets.
Of course, they're all clones.
No, they were all born at the same time from the same drop of
God.
DNA or something.
Sounds just like the rest of them.
They were all born at different moments except for those four.
They were all born stuck together, and they cut
Yeah.
them all apart.
Exactly.
Grendel, Grundle,
They got
Bendel,
two-
and Bundle.
They got too close in the sticky face.
Dooku on a Scooty Puff Jr. Oh my God, this
Dooku on a scooter.
If you
Are they
watch,
playing Quidditch?
if you watch Futurama at all, you can remember the Scooty Puff Jr. that they gave Fry to ride on when everybody else got these badass scooters. He got the Scooty Puff Jr.
Boy.
His cloak also looks like he's playing Quidditch for Gryffindor on a Scooty Puff
What a
Jr.
moment. Jeez. So yeah, Darth Maul had his little desert Scooty, and then Dooku gets his little space Scooty.
He gets the space Vespa.
Yeah, it's really good. But then you get to see a little bit of what it's like to be in a clone war with clones and droids.
Okay, can I ask a question though?
You can ask
Because
whatever
we're
question.
seeing lots of technology. We're seeing lots of spaceships that we've never seen before.
Yes.
Why are none of these iconic?
Because the scene is just a war scene, like nothing.
I mean, so was the one on
Right.
Hoth too.
I mean, but
But
this
those
is,
are all iconic.
But this is space
It's
Vietnam.
true.
Yeah, and I
That's
don't.
true.
This is the only movie where they featured the Robo Geckos.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, none of those
That's a good
I
point.
remember that
Yeah.
those were even in Star Wars. But of course, all them. But maybe I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. They didn't focus on those. Like there was not a single special looking ship that was on screen for a long time.
Well, and I wonder if it has something to do with that they're not models too, and
Yeah.
that they're like just CG.
Yeah, they don't register in your mind as something real to begin with. So
Right.
why would you remember it as such?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's that
good
devil man in Ewan McGregor's spot right now?
That's just an angry
That is-
Ewan.
teeth.
We have Scooty Puff Jr. showing back up on the scene. It's great.
That's all I can see when I see that now.
I think that would be a good picture. Having Dooku on a Scooty needs to be a part of something.
Yeah.
Duker on a scooter. And got it. That is amazing. That's amazing.
So eventually, Anakin and Obi-Wan catch up to Dooku, and Dooku hits Annie with that, like, feel my power, force lightning, and throws him aside. And then Obi-Wan goes against him as well, and he does his neat little dance moves with his lightsaber, because he uses dance style, and Dooku uses fencing style. Oh, dang it. Padme ended up in the sand, but it's okay.
She did a tumble.
She did a tumble, but it's fine. She's okay.
She does have sand in her scrapes now, though.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That would hurt pretty bad.
Yeah. Now she too is coarse and gritty. She's no longer soft and supple.
Dooku takes on both Anakin and Obi-Wan and is about to crush them with metal from the wall, and then Yoda can come and save them. And then Yoda gets to fight Dooku. And Yoda can absorb force lightning.
Yeah, he absorbs it and reflects it back at you.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Well, he is also the Grand Master at this time. He's not just a master.
He is Grandmaster
He
Yoda.
is the Grand Master.
Yeah. And only Grandmaster Yoda can absorb that and do a Kamehameha back to him.
Exactly. He's the dad of the master. He's the Grand
Oh, and now we
Master.
get to see our first time where Yoda turns it on.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he's doing the damn flippies and he's got his lightsaber and the force and all this and
He's like, oh, you think you can dance?
I'll show you dance.
He throws down the cane.
Yoda's fighting style is super cool with all the jumpings around, because he kind of has to do that in order to swing at somebody's head.
at this point in time also I think he probably would have landed and said you've just been served. Is that what it is? Or you got served. Is that what he says?
Something like that.
Yeah, after you finish up a good dance move and you've just beat the other one in a dance competition.
You got served.
You got served. Is that I think that's the time frame.
It's a very, or served you got, I think would actually be what Yoda would say
Yeah.
in that moment.
You got.
Oh boy, everybody escapes just fine. Everybody gets out of it. Everything's A-okay. But Dooku also survives.
And here's a
And-
mysterious man whose nose
Who
looks
is
familiar.
that? Who's,
Oh my god!
whose nose and chin with the butt chin and the frown face? Who is that old man?
Why does that head
Who
look
is
so?
Sidious?
He does look hideous, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, we know that's Darth Sidious.
And also
we
from
don't
what
know who he is.
I can wear a hat for 20 minutes and take it off and my hair won't look good.
And is that the Jedi Temple?
I think so.
I believe so.
So how can he wear a hood for like 3/4 of his day and his hair just be perfectly coiffed every time?
No idea.
Is that Star Wars Force magic?
Well, he's got some of that product called Got to Be Glued.
Oh boy, an epic moment where Palpatine is staring off a balcony looking at his army of clones, just seeing all of his plans come together. And then you do see is that a Star Destroyer? Is that what those are?
They look like precursors to it.
They're a little snubbier, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like they're not
Yeah.
quite as long.
Bottom
They don't
row.
have the
Quite big.
sharpness.
And I don't think they could be as large because, I mean,
No,
the
you're right.
perspective of the shot here makes them look a bit too small.
Yeah, they'd be a lot smaller than the actual Star Destroyers are.
There's
But
the Blue Devil man back.
and then it ends with Anakin and Padme sneaking back off to get married on the balcony.
All Romeo and Juliet style.
Very.
Montagues and the Capulets.
3PO and R2, just the best. Just watching them get their little married. married moment.
I know, R2. It's going to end badly.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Find out next episode.
Yeah, there were some ups and downs in that
But
relationship.
This one had.
Wasn't talking about that.
Yeah. Maybe you were.
I wasn't, but there was that too.
But the second one did have a lot more action to it, but at the same time, not as epic as the Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fight.
It was a lot of one-note action in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's just big fights and chase scenes. That's all it was, just repeated.
Yeah,
I do like
because
the
of
Yoda
plot.
fight, but
Yeah.
I think Attack of the Clones and the Two Towers share the similarities of a lot of walking scenes. Like as if, like, you know, a lot of the storytelling part of it. You got to have this story to make this war worth watching.
I got really confused when you named those two movies together.
I don't
I
think
was
those are
like,
the same.
they are not in the same universe at all.
No, but they're both the second movie. They're both in the middle. They're both where the most story is like shoved into it to describe all this impending war that's about to happen. So similarities.
Which movies did you say?
The Two Towers and Attack of the Clones.
They both have Christopher Lee
That's
they
true.
do.
They
as the
do.
bad guy, and they came out around the same time, actually.
Dang.
What
What did you think of this? Did you like this one more than episode 1?
Probably, but at the same time, like you said, it's just, I mean, I feel like we got an iconic scene in episode 1 between Darth Maul and our two Jedi.
Yeah.
Not too much from this one, I feel like, is all that iconic. I mean, it is just because it's Star Wars,
Yeah.
but it's just, it's not good. Like, it's not iconic because it's
not.
good.
No, not at
It's
all.
iconic because it's like really kind of cheesy or
Yeah.
this or
Right.
that. Or just over CG.
Or
Yeah.
memeable.
because some of these shots are just so busy.
Yeah.
Like they just packed so much into it that it's like a mess, kind of.
There's not much intimacy with the moments either. Like even the fight between like Yoda and Dooku, like it's also got Anakin and Obi-Wan there, and it's a really cool fight. I love seeing Yoda, you know, for the first time ever fight. But that compared to the isolation just between Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon in that moment, it was just, I don't know, there was more to that with less.
It just,
I think
it just looked better. It
It
just
did.
looked better.
Yeah.
It looked more like Star Wars.
Yeah.
That fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul.
Yeah,
This
I
one
agree.
didn't look as much like Star Wars is supposed to look.
I mean,
Even though
especially-
it was a Star War.
It
was
was.
a Star Wars.
And
But it's just he's over at this point. I think over relying on all the new technology that he developed,
Yeah, and
or
getting-
helped develop, or
and
whatever.
Getting Yoda to do all of those flips and all those crazy lightsaber dueling things that he would do that shows Yoda not moving in the old man style that was iconic to me.
Yeah, it was super cool.
But just because that's the first time we ever got to see that. That's the first time we ever got to see that Yoda has a smaller size lightsaber so he can wield it. Like that was cool. Out of a 2 hour and 20-minute long movie, that's what I got.
Yeah. Well, even the pod racing to me was like super, I don't know, epic. I guess because when I was a kid getting to watch it. But even that was iconic to me. The whole pod racing thing was more iconic to me, I think, than even a lot of this. Watching this is like, now that I'm older and I understand more that's going on in the world of Star Wars, like there's definitely more turning points in this movie than there were in the first.
Yeah.
Like for character development and stuff. But
But I just think Anakin's arc is just we're starting to settle into the dark arc or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it just doesn't really hit. Like it's just okay, his mom dies and he has a bad reaction to it. Therefore, he's a
bad guy now.
yeah. Like it's
Well-
like he's just it doesn't feel earned. It just feels like, oh well, he's going to become Darth Vader, so we got to make him do bad stuff.
Right.
But there's no like real reason, it seems like, until the third movie that he actually does want to
Yeah, and
switch.
just that first initial reaction upon instinct to react to his rage the way that he did, and to lash out with his rage, and to use that hatred to kill.
Like his search for the secret to immortality should have started in the beginning of this movie when his mother died.
But you got to think too.
Then maybe he goes back to kill the Sand People at some weak point, regrets it again, and then like some sort, you know what I'm saying?
I do like that.
Because then by the time he gets to the third one and Padme is like about to have the baby and maybe she's not dealing with it too well because oh shit, it's twins now. oh no, is she going to be okay? And then that makes him even more frantic, searching. Like, yeah, he was searching for immortality to see if he could save his mother or bring her back, but now Padme's at risk, and so now he's like teetotal flipping.
Yeah, he'll do whatever it takes now. He's tried
Right.
following the rules as much as he could, but there are no rules anymore.
Right, and the Jedi keep holding him back.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Man, see, you just did it. You just fixed a lot of the stuff that's just not as good with his character arc.
yeah.
But-
I mean, it just seems like he's going evil for no reason.
Yeah.
He's getting his wife, everything's going good, but yet he had to go slaughter a bunch of
And
kids.
at the
Yeah,
same
I
time,
don't know.
too, by the time we get into the third movie, we're going to have that big time gap that Palpatine has been grooming Anakin. Because in this movie, I don't think it showed it, but because, of course, you're not like Palpatine's the Emperor
It
yet.
doesn't.
But contextually, if Yoda can sense when Anakin does that heinous act and it's a disturbance in the Force, that also is a big old ping to Palpatine to say, I'm going to start focusing on this kid now because I felt that anger. So, I mean, literally, I can feel your anger. Like, that's what gets him into, like, you do have the dark side in you. Let me help you with this.
A lot of Anakin's move towards the dark side too is just him being a young guy with a temper, because he has no patience, because they're not allowing him to become a Jedi Master or whatever. So he's pissed about that. So he's got this anger there that he just can't contain, he can't get over it. And then he likes a girl, and they're like, hey man, we can't really do that. We've got more that we have to do. We can't focus on those types of relationships for the connection. It's just not right. And he gets real upset about that because he needs to have this girlfriend. And it's just these things that it's just a kid being a kid, and that leads him to the dark side, as opposed to greater things that really make you struggle with your reality.
Well, did George write all these by himself? Because he had
No.
the help of writers.
No. Even his wife helped him with stuff.
I mean, there's
in
some
the first trilogy.
There's. Oh, you go ahead, Tony.
The only thing that George Lucas actually wrote by himself was A New Hope.
Really?
Yeah.
The very first one?
Yeah.
Okay, because what I'm seeing from the way that they've interacted, even just from our stills, it's like, make sure you protect the senator. Oh, I'll protect the senator. Looks at the camera, moves his cloak, and he has like a Trojan hanging out of his pocket.
That's the commercial.
Yes, like it's all like his facial expressions and how eager he is and everything else like that. It's just like, and then now he's also evil. Just next movie.
What's
Look,
wild
he-
is
he was DTF this whole time, which means down to fight.
yes.
That's where he was living.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the next one definitely is. I would just go ahead and foreshadow that it's my favorite of this trilogy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the best. Sometimes it's still not great, but it's still the best of those three.
Yes, absolutely.
So next time we have a Seen It Through the Grapevine, we will talk about Revenge of the Sith. That is episode 3 of the Star War.
Yeah, and we'll be a little bit more impressed with that one. But no matter how much we feel like these movies aren't any good at all, I'm gonna watch them a whole bunch more times before I'm gone off this planet, because
It's Star
I still
Wars.
like them. It doesn't have to be good for me to like it.
No.
No,
True.
It's Star Wars. That's
Not
all
at
I
all.
have. Yeah. But just like us, we don't have to be good for you to like us, but you do anyway. Thank you for listening to the episode this week whenever we talk about Star Wars some more. And wherever you did that, click 5 stars, please, and tell people why you love us, and then go buy a t-shirt to really prove that love monetarily and with physical merchandise.
And if you're in the mood to talk some shop about some Star Wars, we are the #1 rated Star Wars podcast on Good Pod streaming service. If we make mistakes, forgive us, for we are just humble humans. So talk to me about it. Tell me what we missed out. Make sure that I know that was Jabba and his sister, because that's necessary information. And we can talk about that if you'll get on our Facebook, our Instagram, or our Twitter by looking up @NerdGrapevine. Or you can get on Patreon and show that you love us more by showing money to our pockets and then allowing it to live there. Get on Patreon, look up Nerd Grapevine, donate a little bit to the cause, get a shiny holographic Nerd Through the Grapevine sticker, and unlock content that we will be releasing on there. Future content for Patreon subscribers that will exist in the future. Please. If you don't join, that'll cause me to have a whole lot of...
So what you need to do is scroll down the page of this episode to the show notes, And inside the show notes, there'll be a link that will take you to our Discord server. Get on there, call us dum-dums for not liking your favorite movies, or just whatever. Get on there and talk to us, hang out, drop some memes. We're on there live, uncut, uncensored, and irrevocably circumcised.
And for just offshoot random content, find us on YouTube.
Yee.
That's all I got.
Well, now you got to ask the question.
Oh,
that
yeah, I
people have
forgot.
been wondering since we ate food out of trucks.
I haven't been here
Yeah.
for a couple whiles.
That's good.
And so it's Austin's turn
Is it?
to shove grapes up his butt.
No, but no, that's
Hold
not
on,
the thing.
hold
No,
on,
wait,
hold
I know it's
on.
been a while. But what do you?
When life gives you grapes.
Yeah, here we go.
He's like, God, you gotta say
First off, when life gives me grapes, I want to remind you that sour grapes exist, and there was another famous actress that played Padme's double in Star Wars.
She got killed.
Keira Knightley.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Keira Knightley.
Really?
Yeah, the hot one from the Pirates movie. Huh. Yeah. And then I stick it inside of the Pirates of the Caribbean DVD, and I shove it up my ass.
The case of the DVD with the grape inside of it?
Absolutely.
Are you gonna like try to fold it like taco style or anything? Or are you just going straight like
Corner first. Leave it to the corner.
From years of training with actual tacos,
Yeah.
I've lost all retention.
You're going to shit pancakes.
Oh, no.
Hold on.
It's them damn shoulders, man.
He's like, smack the 57 on the bottle. That's where it is. That's the spot.